Hi, loves. Welcome back. I'm Kishara, the queen of creative inspiration. And here in this space, we create to inspire. Now, if this is your first time joining me, welcome. I'm a therapeutic art instructor and a life coach, and I am here to help you develop into the very best version of yourself. Now, today, we are on day 15 of our 21-day forgiveness journey. Now, today is all about forgiving our sisters and brothers and forgiving and healing and changing the perspective that we have of our sibling or siblings. Now, me personally, I do have a sister. However, we were never really that close. We kind of had two completely different lives and two completely different experiences in regards to our relationship with our parents. Now, I'm a few years older than my sister, a little bit over 3 years older than her. And because of that, I don't think that she ever genuinely understood why I made some of the choices that I made or why I remove myself from certain situations and people in my life. Because of the fact that when I made those choices and decisions, she was so much younger than me that I don't think she understood or could comprehend exactly what was going on. Now, because we had two completely different experiences with our family members, I feel like she never genuinely understood me, and I feel like I was kind of always judged and misunderstood and not supported in regards to my emotional state and the experience that I had. But I had to come to the realization that it wasn't that she was trying to reject or devalue my experience, but I don't think that she ever got to genuinely see what was affecting me and what was causing me to release myself and remove myself from the situation. So I had to be open and honest and really sit and think about, why is our relationship the way that it is? Basically, it's non-existent. We don't have any type of relationship at all. We don't conversate, we don't communicate. Like, I don't even feel like we genuinely even know each other. Like, we're pretty much strangers. And once I started the process a few years ago of not even necessarily healing, but wanting to at least open myself up to that part of my family, um, the only thing that I actually genuinely regretted was that I did not have a better relationship with her. However, I was young at the time and so was she, so there really wasn't any other way to kind of come about it. Now, I can understand and I can feel why she might have felt hurt towards me in regards to the fact that I wasn't always there and present when she probably wanted me to be. However, because of the age difference, I don't think that she could genuinely understood the choices that I made because she wasn't old enough to comprehend and to really see what was actually happening and how I was genuinely being affected and how I authentically felt and why I did not want to be around certain people and engage in certain situations anymore. Now, to sit and to think, and it's really easy to just say, oh, they made me feel this way and they don't understand me and they're always judging me and they don't support me. Like, we have to kind of put ourselves in their position to kind of understand where their perspective is and why they might be reacting and responding a certain type of way. Now, all of us are different. We all have different experiences. We all have we all have different lives, have gone through completely different things. So we all have different perspectives and interpret things in different ways. And I had to come about the realization that it might not necessarily be that she just rejects me and doesn't want anything to do with me. I mean, she genuinely could feel hurt because of our lack of relationship, and she might have felt as though once I got older and I decided to come back around and to try to stimulate some kind of relationship, that she might have already just been in the mindset of, why try now? And, I can't even blame her for that. But at the same time, I can't really blame myself either, because I was protecting myself emotionally and doing what I felt was best for my own self. And sometimes what is best for you is to remove yourself from the situation, regardless of who it is or for what reason. If that situation is continually to hurt you and to negatively affect you, then it is for your best interest and your best mental and emotional and spiritual health to relieve yourself. Now, some people might be hurt and offended by that choice. However, you have to do what is best for you and not make choices based off of how other people would perceive it or how other people would feel, especially if you knew that taking that choice was going to lead you further down a road of rejection and negativity and hurt and pain. So now that I'm older, and now that I think and I actually reflect on the relationship that we had, the different type of upbringings that we had, the different relationships that we had with the same people in our lives, and the different things that we experienced in our lives, I can genuinely understand why we have a lack of understanding for each other and why our relationship is not how it should be for us to be siblings. Now, I experienced a lot of hurt and pain and trauma in my life, from childhood all the way up to adulthood. I mean, I had already kind of had rejection and self-esteem issues because I had a few family members that were a little bit narcissistic and would verbally abuse me and would legitimately demean and humiliate me constantly in front of everybody, in front of people I didn't know or anything. And I remember at a young age, even though I didn't understand what was happening to me, I knew that it didn't feel right. I knew that it was hurting me. And once I started to get older, I was like, I'm done with this. I can no longer deal with this. However, because of the age difference, even though she was witnessing what was happening and the way it was emotionally affecting me, she couldn't genuinely understand the circumstances because she was perceiving it from the lens of someone that was almost 4 years younger than me. So if I'm 11 and she's 7 or 7.5, no, she's not going to completely understand or be able to identify why I felt a certain way or why I viewed certain people a different way. And honestly, that's not her fault, and genuinely it's not my fault either. Both of us just had two completely different lives. I've experienced completely different things that she's experienced, and I can't expect her to be able to relate to me or understand me when we had the complete opposite in our lives. Honestly, like, our lives could not be more different. Our experiences that we endured in our life could not be any more different than it is. It's completely a 180. So I can't blame her and I can't blame myself. It just happened to be that way. I mean, I had to do what was best for me. I was also young in regards to when I made these decisions. So when you're young and as a child or whatever, you just kind of run away and flee from the hurt that you're experiencing if you can. And that's exactly what I did. And I kind of disregarded how that made her feel because I was already experiencing so much hurt and pain that I just wanted to completely remove myself. So even though there's been certain situations to where I felt like she didn't understand me, or that she took other people's side over me, or that I wasn't being validated for my experiences, I have to be honest and understand why that is. It's not just because she doesn't care or doesn't have any empathy. It's that she genuinely doesn't understand. she has no idea what I endured or what I went through because she didn't experience that. So for her, she doesn't understand why I think, feel this way about the same people that we have in our family. However, the relationship that she had with these people were completely different than the relationship that I had. And because of the age difference, when I decided to remove myself from the circumstance, there was no way that she would have been able to comprehend because she was so much younger than me. So I can't harbor hurt and resentment towards her for not understanding my experience because honestly, considering how things happen, there really isn't a way that she would have unless I stayed around longer and she got to experience it once I got a little bit older. Now, it was kind of hard to admit this and to even think about what was causing a discord in our relationship. And when I actually started to open up and be authentic about how I felt and why I felt this way, and I started to ponder and wonder why she perceived things the way that she did, I had to be honest and say, you know what? No, she doesn't understand. And that's not her fault that she doesn't understand. She probably will never understand. And you know what? I probably won't ever understand the way she feels and where she's coming from either. But I have to get past that. And if I genuinely ever want to have any kind of normal sibling relationship, I have to just let the past go and just focus on the present and focus on the ability that we could possibly have of actually having a genuine relationship with each other. Now, I have been utilizing this book right here, Forgiveness: 21 Days to Forgive Everyone for Everything by Iyanla Vanzant, to help me reflect upon my emotions and be open and honest and genuine with how I feel so that I can release those emotions and forgive them so that I can view things from a different perspective so that I could draw in and bring about more positive experiences and relationships in my life. Now, I want to share some of the journal entries that I did for this day, for day 15 of our forgiveness journey, just to be open and authentic with you guys, to help you to be vulnerable, to go along with this journey as well, so that you can start the process of healing the internal pain that you have been suppressing or that you have been ignoring or failing to even admit that existed. So what I like is that she does pretty much a whole chapter about each day. But before we do the reflection questions, she does a prayer. So I'm going to invite you to do the prayer with me. And then I'm going to share, I believe I wanted to share 3 different ones with you today. Yes, so I'm going to share 3 of the reflection entries that I have in regards to today's forgiveness journey and forgiving our siblings. So the prayer states, Dear God, I am willing to change my mind. I am willing to experience a change of heart. I am willing to change my perception of myself. I am willing to change my perception of my sister. I am willing to change what I think and why I think it. I am willing to change what I say and how I say it. I am willing to change my attitudes, my opinions, my habitual responses, my limited perceptions, the silence arguments, the family patterns, everything and anything I think or hold in my heart that will restore peace and harmony in my relationship with my sister. I now consciously and willingly ask the Holy Spirit of your love to change every cell, every tissue, every organ, every muscle, and every living system within my being in order to transform my relationship with my sister. I now consciously and willingly ask the Holy Spirit to heal every thought, every belief, every program, every expectation, every motivation, and every behavior that has had or may have a negative, unkind, or unloving impact on my relationship with my sister. I rest in thee, I let it be, and so it is. Amen. Now, let's get into these reflection questions. So, like I said, I'm being open, honest, and extremely authentic with you guys. I'm taking this seriously. I'm not just doing this for content. Like, I am genuinely pursuing this forgiveness journey, and I am authentically sharing it with you because I know that there's so many of us that need to heal our eternal internal trauma and hurt and pain. And I feel like if you had someone that could be open and vulnerable and show you that it is possible, that you would feel motivated and secure enough to at least attempt to start on the path of that journey. Even just thinking about it and pondering about the idea is a great place to start, because most of us just decide to forget about our emotions or try to forget about our emotions and just act like they're non-existent until something negative comes around, and then we realize, hey, I need to get it together. So my first reflection is, I forgive my mind for thinking my sister should be understanding of my feelings and emotions. Now, after doing this journey, as I mentioned prior, now I can understand from her perspective exactly why it wouldn't be able for her to necessarily understand or comprehend how I feel. And that's not from a negative place, it's just from an authentic place within her. That's all she knows. She doesn't actually know how I feel or what I experience, so I can't expect her to understand. And I need to accept that. I can't want something from someone that they're not capable to give me. Now, the next reflection that I want to share with you is, I forgive my mind for thinking my sister should not be judgmental of situations that she never experienced. Now, I do feel like I'm valid for feeling that way. However, I cannot control how someone feels, their behaviors, and what they do. However, what I can do is control how I respond to them. Now that I have thought about and reflected upon how I felt and the type of relationship that we had in our experiences as a child, I can genuinely say that there's no way that she could have understood my circumstances or my situation. And I can't be resentful or angry at her because of that. Like, there's no way that she could genuinely be capable of doing that, because she really doesn't understand my experience or what happened or where I'm coming from, because she didn't have those experiences and she wasn't old enough to actually genuinely understand when I was going through those experiences as well. So it is what it is. She doesn't understand. I don't genuinely understand her perspective either. But what I can do is accept it for what it is and move on from the past, because I can't do anything about the past. All I can do is hopefully make the circumstances better, in the future. So instead of staying focused on the negative thoughts of the past, I now want to focus on the possibility of actually developing a positive relationship with her in the future. Now, the last reflection that I would like to share with you guys is, I forgive myself for judging my sister for taking the side of the people who hurt, humiliated, and rejected me. Now, I am valid for having those emotions, and it is genuine that I did experience those things. However, I can't blame my sister for not understanding them and not being able to support me and how I feel, because there's no way, now that I think about it, that she could understand that. And because of that, it's not her fault. That's just is the reality of how things happen. And now that I'm able to admit and accept that, I'm ready to release it. And at one point, I didn't think that there would be an opportunity for me to feel that way and for me to let go of those negative emotions. But thankfully, the vulnerability of actually being open and honest about what genuinely was triggering me in our relationship allowed me to see the perspective in a different viewpoint. Because while I was sitting and pondering about why I felt this way and why I made the choices that I made, I also thought about her and where she was coming from emotionally and mental state as well. And it gave me some compassion and understanding in regards to why she would perceive things that way. Now, I want to share with you guys my affirmation journal. So, I am an artist. This is my love language. Words of affirmations are my love language. So I like to pray and meditate through and with my art. So here is the artistic journal entry that I did for today. And it says, I forgive my brother and sister. Now, I don't have a brother, but I put that in there to share with you guys as well. But as you can see, look at all the lovely hearts that I created. You know, every single one of those hearts was genuinely me setting the intention, writing the vision, and making it plain, and stating to the Creator, to God, to the universe, that I am stepping out in faith and creating this, knowing that you have already spoken over me that I do have the ability to forgive, and that is already mine. And by me writing it down and declaring it and decreeing it over myself, I am taking active actions to actually walk in faith towards that forgiveness that you already promised me. Now, if this blessed you guys at all, or motivated and or encouraged you to pursue in your own forgiveness journey, then please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe. And if you would like to support me or this channel, then you can do so through donations. They are definitely greatly appreciated. Or you can visit my Etsy shop and check out all of my original artwork as well. Now, thank you so much for joining me today for day 15 of my 21-day forgiveness journey. I look forward to sharing day 16 with you all tomorrow. You guys stay positive and be blessed. Bye.